Everybody should be on YouTube. I'm going live now.
We have a lot of people already here. I'm not sure about YouTube. I have, oh, you're live again. I see the notification just came in.
Awesome. We're ready to go.
All right.
Okay, everybody, join me on YouTube. Don't forget, when you get here, you like, you comment, you subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified every time I put some content up here. This is where we're going to be. This is our home. You share the link, click on that, share the link on WhatsApp, wherever you have to go. Today's topic is important. And that is, will you make it in MLM? This is something that people want to know. Will I make it in MLM? We've all heard the nice stories, how MLM is a path to riches for the average person. It's all true, but not everybody wins. So the question that everyone has is that, will I win in MLM? And what happens is a lot of people are looking for that magic pill. And so keep joining me on YouTube. When you get here, put some stop participating, put some notes to each other, and communicate with me as well. We're all going to learn this together. All right. Will you win in MLM? Will you fail? Let's talk about that a little bit, because pretty much everything I talk about is the things that I have gone through personally. So that's a little advantage that we have in Opulence Global, where you have a CEO who actually has been through it. He's been through it. I've done it all. And I've been through it all. So when you go through stuff, I know exactly what's going on. That's why how we create things is based on the experience that we already have. So that's why we're so agile on our feet. The trainings that we do, the stuff is the stuff that you go through on a daily basis. All right. So this is a follow-up on the last week, because on last week we talked about there's only two types of winners in MLM. Two types of winners. You got the people who follow well, and the people who lead well, and they're both true of the same thing. You always have to start as a great follower before you could become a great leader. And you'd say, well, that's simple. That formula is simple. It is simple, except I would say most, if I have to put a number on it, let's look at the success ratio. People become wealthy in MLM, 1%, and maybe about 5% that make money, good money. Then I guess the other 95% don't follow a simple concept. I'm talking about, and here's the reason why. There's two reasons why. One of them is people tend to think this is easy. They don't respect it enough and to want to change, right? For instance, we talk about if you're not evolving, well, how do you expect to get more? If you got to want more, become more, earn more, and give more. So the second part is become more. How do you become more? After you want more, how do you become more? Well, you got to evolve. Well, how do you evolve? You seek information. That's easy. We have it right here tonight. We have it in this company. We have a very strong training culture. So you got it. You got the information. And that's what brings us to, are you a great follower? See, a lot of people they're not. And because they're not a great follower, they never become a great leader. Because you got to be a great follower to get the information. And we get that information, you pass it on to your team. That makes you a great leader, because that's the leading action. So that's how it works. Most people that come in, vast majority, they get the information, right? They do not follow the information. They do not follow the system. And because they're not doing that, they're not passing that information on to their team. And now we've got the third kind that never win in MLM. There's only two types of winners in MLM. Great followers, great leaders. And they both are the same thing. They're both two different parts of the same thing, success. Every other kind will fail. the content. No, I know how it's done. No, I know this game. Oh, it's easy. Oh, I do it my way. Oh, my people are different, so that doesn't work. I got all the other kind. Well, they're going to fail. Long term, it's not going to work. So the formula is not hard. And I had a couple of questions. People say, well, okay, so what do I follow? And that's kind of an odd question, because it just tells me that if you have to ask that question, that's because your upline also was not a good follower. And most likely because their upline was not a good follower. And that duplication, we got a team that's very cavalier about how the business works. It's not that difficult to be a good follower. Unfortunately, human beings, they, a lot of times we're not good followers. That's why we got laws, right? If they didn't have the red light on a traffic light, you go right through it. If there was no fines or laws that give you a ticket, and then we probably wouldn't be courteous enough to say, but they said to stop at the red light, right? So if there was no laws enforcing it, we probably wouldn't do that either. Go right through it. So I'm here to tell you, there is no police to give you a ticket here if you don't do the right things. What will happen is that it's much worse than that. What will happen is you're going to put a lot of time in and, waste a lot of time because you're not really putting time in, and then you don't get the results that you want. The good news is it's simple, and we're giving it all to you. You just have to evolve. That means pick up new information. That means be a good follower. When you're a good follower, then you become a good leader. And here's another thing happens. Some people start as a good follower, and all of a sudden they become a master in their own head. They're not open to getting any more information, right? And I've remained a student my entire life. If you followed me, some of you guys were with me in my previous company. And my information, I have the old information, but I always have new information. My life experience, the things I learned. So you got to evolve. If you're not a good follower, if at some point you stop learning, this becomes too full, you stop evolving, that's when you demise. We're going to talk about some of my philosophies in this company, but one of them is the way I run this office here, and that is if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And we talk a lot about every single day, take a personal inventory, mental inventory. Do you have any more here today than you had yesterday? It shocks me when my staff sometimes tells me that people who have been here for years, they don't know the most basics of things, and they've, and I don't know. It just shows what a great business this is. It just shows you what a great, awesome system we have here, that someone can come in with minimal information, still make money. I wouldn't count on that, though, because there are some special circumstances, in MLM and in our company, but you want to make sure that you don't leave it to beaver. For me, the very first thing was every time I joined a new initiative, anything, I built my MLM business as a distributor 4 different times because every time it was taken away from me. So although I knew the business well, I became a great student until I started setting up a company for them that it was my system anyways, a forensic networker. So the minute you start becoming a great follower is where your demise starts, because great leaders must remain great followers. You can't say, oh, I got this now. I got this. You can't do that because business evolves. See, universe evolves. Earth is part of the universe. We evolve. Nature evolves. Since nature evolves, things and life being within nature evolves. Human beings, everything evolves, and you can't remain stagnant. I got this. Nothing remains the same. You have to evolve. It's not difficult to do. You're evolving already in other things in your life. You do it every day. You make adjustments into the way you live already. It's just that in business, you decide not to evolve. And that wouldn't work in anything else you do at home. Your expenses, your kids, your family, your health. You make changes to your weight, the way you eat, the way you dress. You make those changes all the time. The way you travel, the way you save money, you make money. You do this all the time. You're constantly evolving in everything else in your life. And yet when it comes to your business, I got this. It's easy. So the minute you stop respecting your business, that's when you start to go down. Remember, One of my forensic philosophies, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And that is a fact. This is not 99% stat. This is what I've learned in my life. That's 100% stat. And I see people who are doing really well demise for 30 years. I've seen people start here with nothing, boom, go up for 30 years. I've seen people that go up and they go down for 30 years. Why? They stop evolving. They think they got this. So you got to remain a great follower if you want to be a good leader. You have to remain that way. Somebody says, well, how do I, like, what is it that I need to follow? Right? Was it? Remember, I said it's not about just following, right? It's about following and sharing. You got to become a mirror. It's reflection. You get it, you pass it on. But first thing you want to do, you want to follow the company, right? You follow the company. The first thing is you follow the company. Second is you follow the leaders who are successful, who are not in odds with the company. Sometimes we perceive success, right? You come to a company, somebody seems to be doing well, and yet they seem to be doing things differently than other leaders and the company, but they're kind of this ego thing going on, and they know that they got this already. Well, my experience being, I've never seen that work in MLM. Never, because the minute you have two systems come in, people get confused. Another one of my philosophies forensic is when confusion sets in, inactivity starts. It's only one system. Can't be two systems. Now you can add ideas within the system, but you can't contradict the system. So there's only two things you got to do. One is you follow the company. And we're going to talk about some areas that you should be following constantly. The second thing is you follow the successful distributors, top distributors. In this company, you call them Ultimate 5. You got your My 5, people who brought you in and within their circle, right? And then you got the Ultimate 5, people at the top. Never met, different countries, but the top earners of the company, maybe the top millionaires of the company. That's your Ultimate 5, right? You want to follow them as long as they're not running a system or something with training or something that is with odds within the company. Now, we don't have any top of leaders that do that, right? But you may find some of that within the middle who are fairly new, still haven't got it yet. They think like they bring the old habits from another company into this platform. And so you're going to find there's some confusion there because people, what they see on a corporate calls and what they see the companies doing is a bit different within their circle. Unfortunately, you know, when that happens, people become confused and they stop working and some quit because of that. It's important. Being a great follower means that you just follow the system. Let's talk about some of those things. The first thing you do, you follow and share the company system, which is the trainings. We have tremendous trainings. On Mondays is all about products. On Tuesdays about business for forensic right here. On Saturday, we do the systems, like, you know, the company processes, place orders, smart buys, all this stuff, compensation plan. That happens on Saturday. You need to be on all these, right? And on Sunday, we have this new thing. It's fantastic. It's called a leadership cocktail, where you're going to, one of our sparks in the company worldwide, they talk about how they did it, where they were, where they are today. So you follow that. That is, you get on, you get on, you share it, you get other people on. It's not complicated. It's just, you know, the success in the MLM isn't complicated, but if you're not willing to do it, you're too busy or you got other things to do. Okay, the minute you have other things to do on this few hours in a week, that's what it is. Really, 10, 15 hours a week is all it takes. You know, you put in 40 hours at your job that takes you nowhere in life. We all know that. So to say, well, I don't really have 15 hours a week to get rich. Okay, there's a problem structurally there already, right? You go 40 hours a week to make someone else rich in a job, but you don't have 15 hours to make yourself rich. There's structurally something wrong with that. So when we talk about 15 hours, that includes these calls. So you follow the company system. Training is part of that system, right? We go a bunch of systems. smart by it, the training systems. We got a new one called the commandments. We're going to talk about that. So you follow, you got a prosperity book. I was shocked to find out somebody who's been here for years didn't know the most basic part and gets paid with this company for years. Didn't know the most basic part qualification for a check. Because I guess the software does everything. They never actually read the book that came out 3 years ago. And so if you have that type of leadership, find somebody else and who really knows their stuff. Test your upline, make sure they know the most basic things. If you know more than they do, they're not qualified to teach you. It's that simple. Right? You should be, by the way, the most knowledgeable person in your team. You should be. Why not? Why not you? Just because they're before you, that doesn't mean, sure, they have all the knowledge of accumulate, and it's always valuable to pick that information up. But the basic stuff about the business, anyone within a month can master this business. It's not that difficult. Part-time, I'm talking. Really, in a week, you could master this business. Read the prosperity book, make sure you understand it. Really, that's about it, right? It's not that complicated to find out about to master this business. That's what makes it so doable for the average person, right? So you follow the company system, follow the training, the policy and procedures. It's not that difficult. Follow, right? You've all gone to school. Teacher gives us something. We read it. They test us on it. In this case, we don't test you. You know what's the test? There's a report card, and this one is your check, your weekly check, your income. Are you failing or passing? Your weekly check. There's your test, right? Second thing, follow and share the company announcements. New policies, new developments, coming out with something, new training, new bonuses, new product development, right? We're going to be doing this, right? Like we're going to follow that and share that. Adopt it. It shouldn't be that, I know what I know, I'm kind of doing well. I'm not paying attention to anything else anymore. Now, you're not really an effective leader if you're a fractured leader. You can't be a fractured leader. It's not that complicated to be complete in this business. You just have to care and pay attention, and don't take your check for granted. Don't take your people for granted. You got to have an attitude that you work for your paycheck. I think some people misunderstand what MLM is. They think it's a welfare check. It's not. What MLM is that you work hard, you bring value, and then you gain value, right? You get that. So you get paid for that value. Basic concept of MLM 101 or business. You get paid on the value you bring in. Now, some people get lucky because of special circumstances. They get paid more than the value they bring in, but that's rare. It happens, but it's rare. Really working the business, for the most people, how I've always made my money, I work hard. I made a lot of money, but I worked hard. Working hard wasn't show up to a couple of conference calls when I'm called. Working hard meaning morning to night, meeting. We should brag about putting half a million miles on a passport. But look, work hard, play hard, right? That's working hard, but then play hard where you live the way you want, you drive what you want, you have freedom, you have access to life's full menu. You can gauge that accordingly, right? If you want to go drive the Ferraris and McLarens and the oceanfront mansions or whatever, then you work really, really hard and you're going to live really, really hard. If you wanted to go a little bit lower than that, then you don't have to work as hard, I suppose. And then you can kind of gauge it from there. If you just want to make an extra few $100 a month, it's not that difficult. You don't have to change much for that. But if you hear an MLM, I think most people hear an MLM because they really want to hear the financial home run. Especially what happened with the pandemic. I think people realize they cannot trust the government. They cannot trust the medical community. No, they can't trust it. I'm not saying that trust, meaning they have no answers for us, right? They really got no solutions. They got no answers for us. They cannot trust, the jobs. You cannot trust businesses. Can't trust economy. You can't, because something bigger came and shut everything down. The only person you can trust is yourself, your time, your skill level, right? So follow and share the company announcements and policies, and they were to a T. Don't deviate. You don't get to choose if you want. Look, you want to choose, that's fine, but you were choosing before you joined this business. You came here, you said, okay, show me the path. We give you the path, you follow the path. Don't come in, okay, I'll follow the path. As soon as you come in, you get a little bit comfortable with something. Oh, wow, I kind of don't want to follow the path anymore. Well, you can do that, but then again, it's your business. I suppose I don't need to come to work every day after 16 years. I don't. I don't need to answer my phone. I can shut my phone off. I have that choice to do just like you. You have that choice. I have that choice. And if I did that, you probably wouldn't have a business right now, opportunity right now. It's all about choices, right? And I do appreciate my lifestyle. That's why I do it every single day. I have people here. My business runs whether I'm here or not. But you know what? In here, I got to bring value to keep collecting, benefits of it. And that's why after 32 years, my life has been amazing. I've always been a top earner in every company I've ever been to because I bring more value than I expect to take back. I never tried to write my check. I never tried to get my people to get me rich. My thing always was making people rich. I knew automatically through the MLM platform that translates to me getting rich. See, most people don't get this most basic concept. They get into MLM or they get into any business because they want to get rich, right? Understand the self-benefit of this. And that might work in traditional business, but that doesn't work in MLM. MLM is all about people's business. You help them, you bring value to them first, and then you benefit from it. I think it's a pretty noble cause. That's why I love and respect this industry so much. No other industry has that mandate. No other industry has that mandate. Third, follow and share the company new releases. All right, blow up the chat. Actually, I can't even see the chat on YouTube, but what is our latest release? Let me go on Zoom. I can see you guys. I throw it up on YouTube because it helps the algorithm there. So what's our latest release? I want to hear it. What's our latest release? Right? What did we just do yesterday? Sterling. Another revolutionary product. You know how long we work on this? We started on this project last April. It took over a year to do this. It was a difficult project. It was so difficult. If you look at I got 16 bottles of this. Try to get this thing to go. And for one or the other, it just wasn't working through the lab. The viscosity of it, the stability of it. And these are very strong ingredients like microsilver and extract FOA. These are very, very, very strong ingredients. So to try to make products with them, oh man, but look what they are when they come out. So if you're going to be a good follower, you don't turn around and say, oh, yeah, nice, but I only want to use one product, right? You're not a good follower. Not only are you shrinking your business, that doesn't make any sense. If you went to a store said, you know what? All this selection I have here, I think it's too many selection. I'm going to shrink the selection. You'd say, well, he's a stupid businessman. You don't reduce your selection. You expand it. You bring new stuff, right? Because you're expanding, having different verticals of products, then you relate to more people. You want to have everything in your house. A good follower, you have every single product in your house. You'll be using every single product. And because you have it there, automatically you're talking about every single product. And you pick up products here, products there, customers here, customers there, without you even knowing that you're going to do that because you have it there. Not only the products are absolute necessity at home. I mean, Sterling, what just came out. I mean, we're looking at some research, what those alcoholic sanitizers did to people's hands during the pandemic. You're going to see the millions of people who have very negative, toxic results from what happened last year. Scientists are already very concerned about that. Alcohol poisoning is a real serious thing. Nobody's talking about it, but we know because from the scientific community. We come with a product that could relieve the world from that. You can still use it for alcohol, but at least now you have your Sterling. You wash your hand, you put it on, it gives you a lasting. I don't know about you guys, because when I'm traveling, when I put the sanitizers on, and I go to eat something. Have you ever done that? And how horrible that thing tastes because the alcohol gets on it? 70% of this junk. It's not in pure grade alcohol, good grade. It's the junk alcohol, like the ones that, really bad grade. That's what they use for sanitize. And that thing stays in your mouth for so you have to drink like gallons of stuff just to get rid of it. You got Sterling. You're gonna be a good follower. I'm assuming you already placed your order. If you haven't, you're not a good follower. It's that simple. And if your upline is not telling you that, well, your upline is not a good follower. You either got good duplication or you have bad duplication. There's always a duplication. This is a thing that people sometimes don't understand, who want to be leaders, but are never there because they think sometimes I can fake it. I can tell people to do it, but I don't have to do it myself. This is not a do as I say business, but don't do as I do business. In other words, you got to do it first before they duplicate that and follow you. People know when you haven't done it yourself. To get very first thing you got to do to get your Sterling and tell everybody I got mine, did you get yours? What do you mean you didn't get yours? Are you a good follower? You want to be a good leader or not? Right? So go on, get order right now. Now, last night I was busy, and I usually put some type of promotion for pre-orders. I'm probably going to still announce it, and we're going to go back to last night, to the day started, so you're not going to miss anything if you placed your order. And here's how I'm going to do it. Whatever the promotion is, it's going to be benefiting the first day orders more than the second day orders, more than the third. So the longer you wait, the more you're going to lose. Most likely, it's going to be some type of opulence currency, something that's going to be really valuable. So, again, first movers, right? First movers advantage. That's what it's called. First movers advantage. If you're a great follower and company comes up with something, boom, you're on it. If you're not, if you're a horrible follower, somebody calls something and you cannot pay attention and you're losing opportunities. I remember there was a time we had conventions where, at the minute we released the ticket for the convention, and people were just crashing our website trying to be the number one person that bought the ticket. And we had a guy that used to be, I don't know how he did it. He just waited on, but because we had like hundreds of tickets sold the very first night, and then he'd be twice, I think he was the first one to get that ticket. That's being a great follower. Guess what? He made a ton of money in this business, and he sold his position to me at a ton of money, and when he exited the MLM industry. That's being a great follower. That made him a good leader. Fourth, follow and share the company culture. We have a lot of great philosophies in Forensic. Of course, Forensic is our platform. So, to me, it's a pure way of doing MLM business. And remember, Chris Gross, the founder of Networking Times, this is a major platform for MLM, and he wrote, and I put it back on my book, he says, Forensic will be known as the truth in MLM, because that's what it's about. Everything is about other people. It's about giving. It's about other people. Forensic is not for the people who want to come in and they think of themselves first. Just some of them. There's too many. Just some of them. Of course, this makes up our culture of our business. This makes up our culture in our business. One of them is all CV is equal. In other words, it doesn't matter which team it is, which leg it is, strong leg or small, big leg or small leg, doesn't matter where down there, all CV is equal. If someone's building something, you should go into your back office. Who placed an order today? Did you even know your back office every single day gives you who placed an order? If you don't know, ask yourself, I'm not a good follower. Why don't I know this? Well, my upline didn't teach me. Okay, you're not a good follower. You don't have to follow that. You don't have to duplicate that. You got in. You make an investment into your upline shop. Go ahead to back office, click on every link, and find out where this information is. Because you know what? Chances are somebody placed an order today in your team. That means you're going to make money on this thing. That means that person requires a thank you from you. That person requires a quick note, say, hey, but thanks, I appreciate that. Hey, listen, my name is so-and-so. I'm in this country. You're there. I see you on my team. Just want to say hi. That's being a business. Wouldn't that make sense? If you go to a spa or restaurant and you bought something, don't you expect the owner or to say thank you? Because they made money on your purchase. If you went to a store, a gas station, you bought something and didn't say thank you, would you be offended by that? Like, I just bought something. You should be saying thank you, right? Would that make sense that it should be like that here in our business? And yet, because some people disappear for years at a time and expect that this is some type of entitlement where somehow they're entitled to it. No one is entitled to anything. I'm not entitled to anything. That's why I work. Every single day we bring value. We bring value, and for that value, we get a benefit out of this. Small thinkers, they never get that. They never make it big. But people who get this concept, they're going to make a huge bit of money in this business. They make real money in this business. Well, know why? Because people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And how you don't know how much you care is by putting out there, show them regularly that you're watching. You know what people want more than anything else? People want recognition. More than anything else. People want to know that if they're doing something, some effort in a team, that's being recognized. Now, if you go in your back office, a bunch of orders there, and they don't know you, well, that's just that type of conduct doesn't work in any business. If I have a traditional business and I don't thank and acknowledge my customers, you know what? They won't come back in. They won't come back in. Now, as MLM, people who have teams, I won't become leaders, but people who have even teams who get residual income, well, the company pays you handsomely for that. This is work you're not doing, right? It's work other people are doing, and the company supports them. Company works with every single day. Every single day, companies supporting the entire team, including your team, to make sure that you get your CV and volume and everything else, and you get paid, right? Very least you can do is take care of your people in your team as well. You provide your own support. The company has to deal with a lot of people. They're doing it all the time, but you dealing with a small amount of people, you should be working with them on a regular basis. Give them love, give them acknowledgement. Make sure they know that, yeah, I saw your order. Is there something I can do for you? A lot of times, all you really need to do, let me see, make sure we're still here. A lot of what we really need to do is, here we are, okay, is just say hi. Bill, years ago, had a really good commercial that said the best reason to contact someone is for no reason at all. Just say hi. Okay. So another reason, another great concept we have, or philosophy we have in it, is that give and receive. What a beautiful concept. Now, I simplify saying give and receive. You know, people say different ways. What goes around comes around. Really, if you want to get scientific about this, it's quantum physics. Every action has equal opposite reaction, right? So, you know, quantum physics basically will be put out there. Now, you know, these days people like to give it a name. They call it karma, right? Karma. Well, all of that has a real base in quantum physics, but people have different names for them. Give and receive in that order. But some people don't get that. They expect, well, I'm in MLM, so I'm entitled to receive. If you're lucky, that works for a little while. You're never going to build anything huge, because at the end of the day, you know, whatever it is could be a lot more if you give into it, because it's energy, right? What you give into, and it'll come back to you. I want to get you guys ready that MLM is amazing. You could go ahead and accomplish something that 0.1% of the world have ever seen. And can you imagine that? Being able to live a life that was only reserved for the elites? You pretty much do whatever you want to do. I just picked up this super car. I could never imagine. I'm an MLM. I'm like you. I started like you. I started getting a business and building it. It was taken away, build it again. It was taken away, build it. The reason why I managed to build it 4 times in MLM and 2 times traditional, it was all taken away, and I finally did my own. This is really the 7th time that I built a business on. And the reason why I did successfully every time is because my focus was always other people, because I understand how nature works. Give and receive. This is not a Ramin concept. It's nature. If you want to make it big, you're going to have to start. You can try to write this thing and take advantage of the industry and how the comp plan works and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it doesn't work. Yeah. And you may think it's working for you, but it really isn't, because it could be so much bigger, so much bigger. So I'm talking to guys because a lot of people are new right now, and you're excited right now, and you're doing all things right. And I'm telling you that's great. If you know some basic concept like I learned 30 somewhat years ago, and that carried me through the last 3 decades, my life is really, really good because I adopted it, I was consistent with it, and I keep doing it. Why am I at the office at 9:44 p.m.? Do I need to be here? I let that sink in for a little bit. Why do I need to do this call? I have a son that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I could be in Ottawa with him, being my new hotshot car, and you wouldn't hear from me for a month. And then, probably cause some frustration because a lot of decisions I have to make. But you know why I don't do that? Because my life is pretty privileged, and the reason why I remind myself, because there are times I don't want to come to work. There are times I'm tired. There are times I want to enjoy what I've accomplished last 32 years. Well, I tell myself what I've been telling myself for the last 32 years. Even when I was a distributor full time, I told myself that every single day. When I was MLM full time as a distributor, and I was living good, at making a lot of money, and every single day that I wanted to slack off, I told myself, remember, the only reason why you even have the choice to slack off is because of this industry. Don't take it for granted. Get back to work, get your work done, and then go slack off. I'm telling you, we have. If you just grasp some of the stuff, miracles happen. Miracles happen. We have more. Build a company first before your team. In other words, what does that really mean? Now, here's the thing. In forensic, I said build the industry first, then your company. Because if you got this industry that's struggling, doesn't matter how good the company is, everybody falls, right? So first, you got to have a strong industry. Then you have a strong company, because it doesn't matter if the company's struggling, it doesn't matter how good your team is. The company goes on, you go down. Then you build a company. First, you build the industry, make sure you get a strong industry. Then you build a company, make sure you build a strong company. Then you build your team. You can do your team and your company at the same time. And most do. I used to do it. What does that mean? That means that you be nice to everybody, you give to everybody. The more you give is the more you're going to get. They don't have to be in your team. Because what pays you, it's not the team. The production, sure, it's the people in your team that get credit for it. Really, that whole energy comes from somewhere else. Your space. So you give, and you're going to get. This month I'm doing a bunch of stuff for Iran, and this place is they don't have water. So we got tankers of water going there, food. There's a bunch of kids who are deaf and dumb and you can't speak. And there's a 4 to 6 year old. And I couldn't believe how cheap it is to get the surgery done for this 4 or 5 year olds to speak. And I got this video, it broke my heart. We're going to put this up for you guys to see. These 5 year olds are saying, I can, because I could hear for the first time they can speak. Can you imagine what that does? That's not a small thing. Change that child for the rest of his life. He can speak and hear. So I put it right over. We did 10. We're doing 10 right now, 10 kids. I say, you know what? I'm putting it outside. I want to do 100 this year. I want to do 100 kids this year. And the way I do it is I put it out there. Whoever comes in, I match it all, and myself. And that's how I've always done in 30 years. Again, MLM allows us give, and give. Next, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. I've seen people who get better, then they stop getting better, then they get worse. Happens all the time. Let me tell you this. I mean, all of us would say there was a time that all of us were in better shape, right? All of us, right? That you're in better shape, you were lighter, you're slimmer, you were more in shape, right? What happened? Right? We got there and we lost it. There's all of us that would say, I forgot some stuff. I used to know this, I forgot. What happened? You got there, you lost it. Because everything is a muscle, it requires a workout. So you got to constantly work on yourself and getting better. If you're not getting better, because here's the reason why. Life doesn't sustain. Life doesn't, everything is moving, nothing's stagnant. And since everything is moving, if you're not moving, then you're getting you're getting worse, and you're falling behind. It's that simple. I don't say you're going up, you're going down. Life doesn't sustain. Now, if some people say, well, you know, I can't stay steady, it can happen. Why? Because they're trying to get better, but they're not good enough to make it better. But the effort they're putting in, it keeps them afloat. But I can guarantee you, this is for quantum physics. It's not what I mean. According to what I mean, if you're trying to do this right, it's going to go down. That's everything in life, and it's same in MLM. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Another concept is like and trust. People join people, not companies. People buy people, not products. The person that bought your product because they saw your excitement. That's why they bought it. They don't know. Product is a product. It's just bottle with something in it. They're buying your excitement and conviction first. So that brings us back. Buy all the products and start using it. See the benefit of it, because unless you do that, you're never going to be able to sell anything. People buy people, like and trust. Like because you know you're full of energy. People want to be around you, right? You attract people. Energy attracts energy. Trust because whatever you're shooting for, better health, more money, retirement, parents' retirement, kids to Harvard, whatever those things are, they may not know you to trust you, but it's the exact same things that they want. Like and trust. And you have to constantly, like everything else, like and trust is not built one time. Like and trust is built every time. Every time. I pity the person that would say, well, I've done my job, so I guess I don't need to do anything anymore. I pity that person because that never works in life, in anything in life. Certainly doesn't work in our business. Very quickly you lose respect with your colleagues, and very quickly you find that things have changed. Like and trust is important, especially with your team. The people who do things for you, you never forget. This whole thing is not about us reaching our target. Remember, is give and receive. Give enough people what they want, Zig Ziglar, so you can get what you want. Some basic concepts, if you guys just adopt those basic concepts, right? You can't fail. Here's another one. I learned this from Larry Thompson years ago. What's interesting, our top guy in my very first company, very exciting news here. Rezo's going to get excited. Our top guy in the very first company is over John Solder. He was, at the time, 1990, a long time ago, he used to make about $120,000 a month. First company I joined as a 20-year-old, he was a top guy. We bonded because I was a wrestler, Rezo was a wrestler, he was a wrestler, so we bonded really, really well. Anyways, he called me today. 32 years later, he called me. He says, listen, Remy, I got a podcast. I see you got success. Congratulations. I want to interview you. So we're going to be having that interview. So he used to say this statement. This statement didn't come from him, but it came from another mentor, Larry Thompson, which was his mentor. He was my mentor. So it got passed on. He says, the value you bring to the marketplace will determine your income. The value you bring, it's not the opposite around, eh? It's the value that you bring will determine your income. Now, there's an element of luck in MLM. Some people get positioned and whatever, but don't count on that, right? Don't count on that. The value you bring, somebody says, well, the CEO of Coca-Cola made $80 million last year. No one's worth $80 million. Well, suppose, it's a job, right? Why should we get paid $80 million? Maybe it's not, but if you brought extra $2 billion in profits for the company, then I guess you're worth $80 million. It's the value. So if your team, if you personally bring X amount of value, that's your check. If your team brings X amount of value, that's your check. If Renee and Rezo's a world and Sherry, if they made $1 million plus, well, their team brought a lot of value. That's why they make a lot of money. If your team, has small volume, that's the value it brings, right? We need to build that up so you can check gets bigger as well. And one more thing I want to talk about is that and this is a new thing that I thought about, and I'm starting to write about it, and that is your care for others equals your respect from others. Let that sink in. Your care for others will equal your respect from others. So if you don't care about other people, it's all about you. Well, guess what? They're not going to respect you. They're not going to look at you as an outline. They're not going to. It's just not, because at the end of the day, people don't care about your pin. People don't care about your check. They care about them. At the same time, if they're doing something in your team, they expect you to acknowledge it, support it. So your care for others will equal your respect from others. Let that sink in, leaders. All right. So look at that. I was going to get to the 12 commandments, because we talk about being great follower. And the very first thing you're going to do, because it's a new thing we got now, the 12 commandments, and it's going to go in every product order. It's going to go to every welcome kit, and it's going to be something passed on social media. It's imperative that if you come in, the very first thing you got to do, and I know it's going to make a huge impact. It's just basic 12 things. It's called 12 commandments. You follow this, you're probably going to cut back 90% of your calls to the office. Because we know what type of calls come over here. And a lot of people, haven't done these basic things. So we're running out of time. So if we don't have a lot of time, here's what we're going to do. I want to stay on the stream properly. First things, I say there's a lot of people here, and there was a quarter that have actually liked this call. So like this video right now. To a quick comment on there, just scroll down, do like, comment. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button, because then when I put stuff out, you're gonna get those notifications. Get your team to do the same thing. So click that like, do that subscription, throw a comment. What you thought of it. What was your takeaway of this, right? We talked a lot tonight about quantum physics and the laws of nature. What are your thoughts? I want to read your comments. So throw your comments underneath there, because I really want to know what you took out of this. And I think that's what you can give back to me at 10 o'clock at night. I'm spending time with you guys here. I want to read what you got out of this. Was this thing kind of on and kind of roaming around and not paying attention? Or were you actually paying attention? You got something out of this. I do want to finish up with this. Mary Madden sent me a little WhatsApp of this young lady who just joined our business, was on last week's call, and I guess she took some detailed notes, and she put this WhatsApp message to her team, and I enjoyed so much listening to it. It's something everybody should be doing, where you take notes and you take that, you pass it on to your team the next day, because a lot of people, time zone, whatever, they can't get on these calls at this time. And quick WhatsApp message with boop, 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 boop. Here's what we talked about forensic networking last night. And it was so well done in about 4 or 5 minutes. I thought this is fantastic. This is what MLM is. Right there. You come, you take notes. Remember, great follower, right? Take notes, then you pass it on, makes it a great leader. Clear example. We talked about this last weekend. She did it this weekend. Congratulations. I forgot the name of it. I would just really say the name. But this is what MLM is supposed to be about. Now, here's what I'd like to see. WhatsApp is fantastic. She got the message tonight. You took a bunch of notes and you put it on your WhatsApp groups. Fantastic. Here's what we talked last night on Monday night on product call. Here's what we talked last night on forensic call. Here's what we talked last night on a Saturday call with Danny. Here's what we did last night leadership call with our special guest, right? You take those notes and you put it out there, because you're always looking for content to communicate with your team that builds bond. All right. But here's what I like to see, though. Outside is WhatsApp, because that's quick and easy. I like to see a whole bunch of you go on YouTube, click go live, have your notes in front of you. Okay, so hey team, last night here's what we did at the forensic, and just a 2 or 3 minutes, doesn't have to be professional. This is only for your team. But here's what happens: make it public. A lot of people that got around you, they kind of see it, they like the notes, they start to follow you. You get better. Again, the next level of leadership, right? So YouTube is not that hard. You go to your channel, click on live, you have your notes. Here's what we talked about last night, guys. All right, until next week. See you later, until tomorrow, whenever that next live is going to be. Let's get you to graduate to that very next level. All right, guys. Love you guys. It's in this YouTube. It's not like a Zoom where we can talk and stuff. So I want your comments on YouTube. If you are on Zoom, let's unplug some people if they want to share. Oh, I think I've already got logged out of the Zoom. Oh, no way. That's what happens to phones, right? When you're, let me see if somebody's on there still, or they're already gone. I was going to say we can open the lines for our people on Zoom so they can speak. But the rest of you, I want your comments. Okay, it's not long in. I want your comments right in the comment section. All right, team. Until next week, stay forensic.